Sup shooters, my name is Logan aka Spiderhands and welcome to SP Reviews, where today we're checking out a track from an act named Blackout Burning titled Effortlessly. And if we switch over to here, we have ourselves the track on the screen and we're going to listen through it from start till finish and we're going to hear what we think. Let's go. Oh, nice drum fill to come in with these guitars, bass. Yeah, groove strong. Interesting riff there with the rhythms there. Is that like a harmonica or something like that?
Grab me on a lift, I'm just buying time. Tell me I'm a fraud, because I look alright, but you don't know a thing. Basically, I'm done waking up ashamed, waking up so numb.
I like the guy's vocal style. Legato technique works well, but you do get the words through clearly. You know, you get his anguish, feeling tired of all those things there. It's nice for the hook to be instantiated at the start and then the bass and the drums and everything like that to come in for the verse to allow him, the vocalist, more room to speak his truth, you know.
I can't take the expectation. Never really know where to improve. You don't think it's obvious.
I'm not getting the S's at the end of these words. I'm not sure if that's like a gating issue or something like that on the studio side. But yeah, I'm not getting the S's in that. It could just be the way he's saying it, but
I'll be gone, just don't know when to go. I hate to say I told you so. I'm so sorry for.
wow. A tempo change, I think, if I'm not mistaken there. That's kind of dope. You don't get many of those nowadays. That makes me feel as if they're not playing along to a click track, which I have a lot of respect for, man. If you're good enough to not need that and you can just free flow it and make it a live performance, it's a hell of a lot more fun, man.
I'm so sorry for wasting your time, wasting it on me. I'm so angry that I just coast along. I'm so upset that you're hanging on to me. Effortlessly. Treat me like a fool.
Wow, that little guitar line on the left there as a sub layer was pretty slick. That I don't think that was legato. It might have been legato technique, but either way, well done. And the bass is so full sounding and the little sort of natural harmonics on the other side are really pretty. It's lots of change here with the instrumental performance here. Lots of variety there. It's really, really positive.
There's nothing really in you, there's nothing else to find. I'll be with the rest, you've seen it all before. I'll be in my head until I'm out the door. I can't take the situation.
Okay, bridge again.
There's nothing wrong with that. If I'm coming back, I don't think about you anymore. It's another lie coming down the slide. Then everyone will realize I'm so sorry for what's been going on. I'm so sorry that you're wasting your time, wasting it on me. I'm so angry that everything's my fault.
Great vocal fry there. The intensity of the performance is dope. No, this is a really solid performance from everyone involved.
You're hanging on to me. And I got nothing.
Because we don't stay at that energy for long. It's just a little bit of extra oomph. I'm so sorry that, you know, like he's angry. He actually sounds like he's angry. And that's great. That's what you need when you sing about it, is you need to kind of not be too on the nose about it. But you need to let the listener know you're actually put your soul into the track and this is something you're actually feeling. So they've done the communicated that well.
Left to stay. I'm too vicious anyway. I'm too reckless every day. Did I tell you I'm
Even the bass line is incredibly active, you know.
a liar
Fantastic head voice. And double layering in the vocals here. The double tracking is fantastic. The harmonies, extra development there. They're just ticking all the boxes at this point. Great accents on those octaves, dude, on the guitar. And those drum fills are sensational. Those triplets there, it's great. They're subtle. We're working with practically ghost notes, but it's really well done. Okay, well, that was a hell of a tune. Wow, there's a lot that went on in that one, man. Wow, dude, we're gonna break this down. Okay. Wow, man, that's wild. That's wild, man. Because this is my conclusion to my review of this track, Effortlessly by Blackout Burning. What I think this track is about, I think that this track is about someone who is just so sick of their own stuff, and they're trying their best, but they know that it's just a struggle and it's difficult, and they still they can't understand why the other person is still hanging on to them, you know. They can't understand why that person is still a part of their life. That's the interpretation I got. That they're probably thankful for it, but they're also like, I just still don't get why we are together. I could have gotten that wrong. There might have been a bit of nuance there, but that's my take from like listening through it on a first listen basis. So that's cool. That's great. Obviously, you know, the vocals alongside that were fantastic. They were really genuine sounding. You know, we had the emotive perspective from it. Like, things were really intense at some points. We had a lot of vocal fry, and we really cried out there. We just had a lot of range vocally in general. The singing was fantastic. Guy's got really good control of his head and chest voice there. A little bit of vibrato occasionally. Nice melodic passages, but not too much to sort of overcook it. And ultimately, I just think that we smashed it out of the park here. We've got musicians here who are obviously really adept at what they do, and the singer is no different. Great use of different vocal melodies there to cater to the needs of the harmony, of the accompaniment. You know, like even the harmonies we had later on there, and the head voice that we had in the final part of the track was gorgeous. We knew to vary it, and we also knew to step back a little bit when other instruments want some time to shine as well, like in that last part with the octave chords on the guitar and stuff. I just think that was really fantastic and really well thought out. And yeah, the vocals are well done for me. Nice connection between the vocals and the story. The structure of the track at 4 minutes is incredibly well done. There is a lot going on here. Like, there are various little instrumental parts here. There's verses, bridges, and choruses here. An outro one without the vocals being copied and pasted, which is so fresh, man. And, you know, like potentially even like little other bits there. It's just wonderful how much we managed to stack into this track here. With that intro sort of drum fill there at the start, we knew these guys could play. The drummer kept the groove going so well with those various fills, but kept the hi-hats and maybe some ride parts going with the different tempo changes as well. Going between two different tempos and keeping that consistency there and making it sort of transition is very difficult, but this band managed to nail it, in no small part due to the drummer knowing exactly how to phrase things and come back in when they needed to. And that's just an example of how tight they are in their chemistry as a band. The guitarist, you know, pocketed for a lot of the time. You could tell they could really shred, but they stuck within their chord progressions and arpeggios and had a bit of extra kind of grit to the overdrive or distortion in those chorus parts. But there were little bits like in the first break between the chorus and the second verse where he had like little legato parts and natural harmonics and stuff like that, and you can tell that we were familiar with those techniques and that we understood how not only how to do them but how to incorporate them in a way that is musical, in a way that is beneficial to the listener and the song itself. So that's fantastic. The bass player didn't just stick to the root notes of the chords and everything like that. They explored the fretboard really nicely, and I'm really happy with that. I think that they managed to get the right balance of keeping the groove going alongside the drums, and also having the you know, the guitars have more, you know, allowing them to have more to harmonize with by allowing for more in that low end there, those little 8th note or 16th note runs that we had there occasionally. It was sensational work. That fit, and he was playing with his fingers as well, you know, like he explored the fretboard a little bit in a way that was tasteful and also knew to be more supportive of the guitars when they had their moments. And the harmonica that we had there as a final note there very occasionally was charming. It was nicely sort of like added in there, and it sounded appropriate as a sort of an alternative vocal layer there as a foil to the vocals, which I appreciate, as a lot of the focus outside of that was in the low to mid ranges, like with those guitars and everything like that. So having the, you know, a bit of brightness to that, it definitely doesn't hurt. Although the way that it was recorded, mixed and mastered, the studio production was very strong. I'm in two minds about like certain things, not because I think that it was done badly, but I'm just trying to sort of figure out how to sort of elaborate. I think the vocals were recorded well. They were nicely filtered and EQ'd and compressed there. There were some like letters, like obvious. There was like the S didn't come through on the end, and I'm not sure if that's the phrasing or if that is simply just the performance. And that's okay, don't get me wrong. They didn't need to be the S. It's just something I know is like little things. Because that could have been like a gating thing or something like that, where like the S might have come too quietly. Or maybe it was even like awkward sounding or something like that, I'm not sure. Now, aside from that, the vocals were fantastic. There was dynamic range to them, which was great. The guitars were nicely filtered and EQ'd and panned on the sides as well. You know, the lead solo in the center was nice and bright without being overpowering. There was various parts of different guitar parts done at different bits of sub layers, like in that chorus to verse transition there that was really sweet. And the leveling was great, done really well there, you know. The drums were mixed well. They had a power to them which was consistent. And I liked the way that they were controlled there. The drummer also had great technique and knew when to go do ghost notes or knew when to do accents, and there was extra dynamic range to the performance itself, which helped the recording seem a lot, helped the recording a lot. Not that it really needed much help, because they could clearly play. The bass guitar was nice and thick and full sounding in the low end there. I don't think there was much sidechaining, if at all, to the drums there, but I don't think it needed to, because again, it was more of a live performance there. I don't want to sort of sterilize it. And the harmonica was nicely patched into the upper part of the frequency spectrum there. So things were nicely spaced in the stereo field. It was nice and wide with different positions at different parts there to suit the song. And there were no weird resonances in the frequency spectrum. And finally, you know, we just have the leveling, you know, where it was nicely leveled overall. The mixing was good. There was dynamic range to the overall performance, although not a lot of it. I would have maybe appreciated a bit more. And then the limiting compression, it did sound like the limiter was pushing a little bit some parts, not enough to be a detriment. I could just tell that if we'd been a little bit more aggressive with the limiter, it would have been detrimental. So I'm glad that they knew the fine point to put that. And they did well, because effectively this is my review of this track, Effortlessly, by Blackout Burning. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please go check out their various social medias and a YouTube page, and stay cool and stay safe, and please remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time, as either hell more than ever with all the crazy stuff going on in the world, and I'll catch you in the next review. Spiderhands out.